Hello everyone, I'm Restiana putri from Pamulang University. Now I'm going to explain about procedure in teaching listening comprehensions. Well, in teaching listening comprehension itself, there are 3 points that we discuss. The first is approach, and then design, and also the last is about the procedure. For approach and design, it was explained by our group member, Miss Ellen, by Visabilias Min Safira, and also by Maria Christine Jujur Stanggang. And now for the procedure, I will explain it. Actually, in the procedure itself, there are two main points that I will explain. The first is about the criteria for evaluating activities and exercise, and the second point is the exercise types. Well, in teaching listening skill, there is an objective. The objective is to provide comprehensible, focused input and purposeful listening tasks that develop competence in particular listening abilities. There are some points in this criteria that we have to pay attention of it. The first point is content ability. In this point, there are some questions such as: does the activities practice listening comprehensions or listening or something else? And how closely does the input or task relate to the micro skill that listening comprehensions involve? Many listening materials contain activities that depends on the reading or general intelligence than the listening skill itself. And the second point is listening comprehensions or memory. We saw that a variety of processing activities and listening practice storage of information in long-term memory. Many listening activities focus on retrieval of information from long-term memory rather than on the processing activities themselves. And the third point is purposefulness and transferability. In this point also there are questions such as: does the activities reflect a purpose for listening that approximate authentic real-life listening? Do the abilities to exercise develop transfer to real-life listening purpose, or is the learner simply developing the ability to perform classroom exercise? An activity that makes use of news broadcast as input, for example, should reflect the reason why people typically listen to news broadcasts, such as listening for informations about events, close exercise requiring the learner to supply grammatical words after listening to the news item for which people do not reflect the purpose for which people listen to the news broadcast. It is situations that corresponds to any real life listening purpose, and therefore involve a low degree of transfer. And the next point is about testing or teaching. Does the activity of or set a procedure assume that a set of skill is already acquired and simply provide opportunities for the learner to practice them? Or does it means that the skills are not known and try to help the learner acquire them? agreed many listening activities tasks rather than teach. For example, a set of true-false questions following a passage on the tip might indicate how much of the materials the learner can remember. But the kind of activities in no way help the learners develop the ability to grab main idea of or extract the relevant details And the last point of the criteria for evaluating activities and exercises authentically. To what degree does the input resemble natural discourse? Although much authentic discourse may be too difficult to understand without the contextual support, materials should aim for relative authentically if they are prepare listener for real listening situations. Well, and now we will discuss about the exercise type. There are also some exercise type in this procedure. In developing classroom materials and activities, we can manipulate the input or the task. Input, for example, may be in the form of dialogue or monologue. Dialogue may be out, dialogue may be script or unscript between native speaker, between non-native speaker, or between native and non-native speaker. In both dialogue or in monologue may vary according to the rate of dialogue. It may vary according to the rate of delivery level to vocabulary, topic, informations, contents, fluency. Tasks may vary according to whether they require global comprehensions or partial comprehensions. And the first types is matchings or distinguishing. Is the process by choosing a response in written or pictorial form that corresponds with what was heard. For example, placing picture in a sequence that match a story or a set of events. Choosing a pictures to match situations such as listening to the radio advertisement and finding the product from a set of pictures. And the second point is transferring. Exercise of the types of this type involves receiving informations in one form and transferring the informations or part of it into another form. For example, listening to a discussions about the house and then sketching the house. And the next is transcribing. The transcribing process is by listening and then writing down what was heard. Or we call it dictations, is the most common example of these activities. And then scanning. The exercise types of this is the exercise in which listener must extract selected item by achieving the input in order to find a specific piece of information. For example, listening to a new broadcast and identifying the news of the winning party in the elections. And then the next point is extending. The exercise that involve giving beyond what is provided. What is it provided? Such as reconstructing a dialogue when alternate lines are missing, or providing a conclusions to a story. And the next point is condensing, reducing what was here to an outline of the main points, such as require in taking notes. And then answering questions from the input. Different kinds of questions will focus on different level, of listening. For example, questions that require recall of details, those that require in inference and deductions, those that require evaluations or reactions. And the last point is predicting. Predicting or guessing or predicting outcomes, causes, relationship, and so forth, based on information presented in a conversation or narrative. Well, that's all about teaching listening procedure. Procedure in teaching listening comprehensions. Thank you for watching this video. May it can be beneficial for us.